Good evening, I'm Danielle Grossman.
And I'm Adam Hooper. Thanks for choosing Acadiana's KLAF News at 6 this evening. Troubling news from southeast Louisiana as Governor John Bel Edwards today declared a state of emergency for the state after a series of tornadoes and strong storms hit the area. Viewer-generated video shows the massive funnel speeding through the New Orleans East area, picking up pieces of homes, vehicles, and anything not anchored to the ground. Also riveting footage of power lines breaking and electricity exploding out in the open. More than 12,000 Metro New Orleans residents are without electricity. New Orleans Mayor Mitch Landrieu says the city needs prayers but will recover from this latest tragedy.
And we're going to be fine. It's just going to be a lot of hard work, and we have a lot of our fellow citizens that are hurt. So we ask, for your prayers, and we really are appreciative to the American people and to people of the state of Louisiana to supporting us in this very difficult time.
The round of complex weather moved through much of the southeast region of the state, directly impacting 7 parishes. So far, there are no fatalities that have been reported. Authorities say at least 24 people have been injured.
All right, now let's check in with meteorologist Jordan Sandler for a look at our weather. We're grateful we didn't get hit that hard, right, Jordan?
Absolutely, and we were under that tornado watch as well early this morning. Fortunately, we had some thunderstorms through Acadiana, but nothing bad. Everything started east of Baton Rouge and then really got going through New Orleans. We are still staying with the winds. Wind gets up to 25 miles an hour, sustained wind speeds right around 15, and it's warm. It's humid outside tonight. Expecting some fog at well. You don't really need to go into any long sleeves. A short sleeve shirt will do you through the night, but fog on the way. And then we'll talk about when we'll finally get this cool down. Cold front coming tomorrow night. Talk about that in my full forecast.
Tonight's Crime Watch begins in Iberia Parish, where a St. Martinville man's behind bars for a string of robberies in New Iberia. Detectives accuse 34-year-old Oles Jacob Kidd of 2 robberies Monday evening on Jefferson Terrace and East Admiral Doyle Drive. Kidd is also accused of committing 2 armed robberies at the end of January in the Main Street Rite Aid and the Arc on Center Street. An investigation is pending on Kidd's association with other robberies in the area. He is currently in the Iberia Parish Jail on 2 counts of simple and armed robbery.
Staying in Iberia Parish, a middle school was on high alert after one of the students had a loaded gun on campus. Authorities say the Anderson Middle School resource officer retrieved a loaded .22 caliber semi-automatic handgun around noon today from a 14-year-old's backpack. The officer was informed that the student may have been carrying a weapon. The teen was charged with illegal possession of a firearm and possession of a firearm in a school zone. He was later released to the custody of his parents.
In Acadia Parish, Crime Stoppers need your help locating a wanted fugitive. Detectives with the Crowley Police Department are looking for Quintarius Arsenault. Arsenault is wanted for a felony carnal of a juvenile. If you have any information on the whereabouts of Arsenault, please call 789-TIPS.
In St. Martin Parish, a man wanted in connection to a domestic dispute turns himself into officers. Police say Clifford Anthony Jr. turned himself in this morning on a charge of attempted second-degree murder. Detectives say the charge is a result of the domestic dispute turning very violent.
The owners of a sulfur construction company are out in bond in connection with a theft of $230,000. Deputies say 50-year-old Ernest and 57-year-old Marianne Anderson allegedly overbilled a construction job by creating fraudulent invoices to the victim's company. Officers estimate the total amount of fraudulent billing at almost $250,000. The Calcasieu Parish District Attorney's Office indicted the couple last Thursday. They were both charged with theft of $25,000 or more and released on $5,000 bonds.
An Abbeville man is in jail for speeding and attempted second-degree murder warrant. Abbeville police say Rendrick Nunez was speeding on West Summers Drive when a pursuit began. Nunez then hit an Abbeville fire truck and sped off northward on Highway 82 to Woodland Road near Maurice. As the suspect was turning back towards Abbeville, hit a police unit and the car skidded into a drainage ditch near the South John Hardy Drive. Nunez was arrested by officers and was found to be wanted for a shooting at Live Oak Manor Apartments. Nunez was wanted for the charges of attempted second-degree murder, illegal possession of a stolen firearm, illegal carrying of weapons, and obstruction of justice.
A house in Lafayette is a total loss after a morning fire. Just before 2 this morning, Lafayette firefighters responded to a call at the intersection of Sherman Street and Madison in regards to heavy smoke coming from the home. When fire crews arrived on scene, the home was fully engulfed. Firefighters battled the blaze for approximately 25 minutes before getting it under control. Neighbors say the home has been vacant for about 3 weeks. The cause of that fire is under investigation.
The death of an Opelousas teenager who was shot Sunday night has been ruled an accident. Police say the 15-year-old, who was a family friend called Tut, accidentally shot himself. After being rushed to the hospital and taken into surgery, the teenager died Monday. Police are still investigating another shooting that happened at the same house last Thursday, leaving no one injured, but the family quite shaken up. Police say that the shootings happened at the same place, but they are not connected. There we go. Mardi Gras season is here, and Fat Tuesday is right around the corner. The glitzy occasion brings with it fun and a whole lot of moolah for the state.
That is right. KLAF's Kristen Dre joins us in the studio. Kristen, what sort of economic impact are we expecting for this year's Mardi Gras?
Adam and Danielle, the predictions are limitless. The last economic impact study was done in 2010, where they found over $110 million poured into Lafayette Parish during Mardi Gras. That projection is estimated to keep growing.
People and communities are catching on.
You have parades now in all of these smaller cities in the parish.
And it seems the excitement leading up to Mardi Gras starts earlier every year.
We have another weekend of parades with Rio.
Joey Domin, who is king of Rio, is also the owner of Beads Galore. He says with his shop, he sees the economic impact Mardi Gras has on Lafayette firsthand.
People come from, especially from the west. Saves them a trip to go all the way to New Orleans.
An impact so large that Mardi Gras store is selling anything from necklaces to hats to shirts to accessories and more. Stay busy year-round.
We spend most of the year purchasing merchandise for Mardi Gras. It starts the day after Mardi Gras, looking and finding new things and coming up with new ideas.
Berthelot says it's those people coming into Lafayette from near and far, booking hotels, eating at local restaurants, and supporting shops like Domin's that are boosting our economy.
It's a great opportunity for us to showcase our community to the rest of the world, and a great opportunity to get people here for the first time to experience Mardi Gras.
Ben tells me they're doing an economic impact study again this year. They'll have the numbers and see if their proposition of growth is true by 2018. In the studio, Kristen Dre for Acadiana's KLAF News.
Thank you, Kristen. I'm so excited for Mardi Gras. I know you are too. In other news, one of the state's largest sugarcane conferences was underway in our own backyard. Farmers, researchers, and sugarcane leaders attended the American Sugarcane League meeting today. While local farmers and researchers saw impressive sugar recovery numbers last year, they're optimistic for the coming year. However, on a national level, the sugar industry is being heavily criticized in regards to health.
And certainly, I think one thing that the sugar industry can do is connect the consumer with the farm and with the grower and with the history, and I think a lot of people would be surprised to learn how natural sugar is.
As a young farmer, I really would like to encourage people to come out and to see the farm, to get a connection to the farm, to understand what products are in their food.
Gaines says for the first time ever, sugarcane intake is limited to 10%. He also says a lot of people don't realize how much sugar is used for other purposes aside from sweetener.
History took place on the Senate floor today as Mike Pence became the first vice president to ever cast a tie-breaking vote for a cabinet nominee. His vote was required to push Betsy DeVos's confirmation as education secretary over the finish line. After the Senate was deadlocked, 50 votes apiece, the vote took place after Senate Democrats staged an overnight talkathon to draw attention to DeVos's controversial nomination. They blasted the Michigan billionaire for having no experience attending volunteer working at or sending children to a public school.
Today, the Senate voted to confirm one of the most unqualified, unprepared, and unknowledgeable nominees for Secretary of Education since the cabinet-level department was created. I expect that Mrs. DeVos will have an incredibly harmful impact on public education and on communities of color nationwide. The Congressional Black Caucus will be watching her actions very closely.
Pence.
Democrats united in their opposition after DeVos confirmation hearing, where she seemed to be unfamiliar with some federal education law. She becomes the 6th cabinet appointment of President Trump to be confirmed. Coming up, we'll share how speaking up to your doctor about breast cancer can make all the difference in your diagnosis.
And male birth control has sometimes been a permanent fix, but could recent developments make way for a more versatile procedure? We'll tell you that story's ahead.
Plus, we'll take a look at our full weather forecast straight ahead.